Red is just about any action comedy movie with Bruce Willis that could have come out. It just so happens to have been based on a DC comic. It's just one of those random movies based on a comic that you never heard of that you go to see just because it looks fun enough. And you know what? Good move. This one is fun enough. Bruce Willis plays Frank Moses, a retiree who is lonely enough to tear up his pension checks and call the company that sends them out just so he could talk to a woman that he likes on the line and they could chat about avocados or trashy romance novels or whatever else nonsense they come up with. Frank asks the woman, Sarah, if he could visit her, and she decides to give it a shot as her clock is ticking and she hasn't had a decent date in ages. Before that goes down, though, a team of CIA assassins shows up and tries to kill Frank, but he kills them because he's actually a badass ex-operative himself. He's classified as Red, which stands for Retired, Extremely Dangerous. So now you know. Anyway, Frank goes and basically kidnaps Sarah because she won't listen to him after he breaks into her apartment and cleans it. No, I'm not making that up. He believes that his phone was likely tapped and that she will be a target. He starts getting the band back together of other badass retirees to help him figure out just what the fuck is going on. So we got Morgan Freeman, John Malkovich, Helen Mirren, Brian Cox. Basically, if you wanted me to describe this movie in a sentence, it would be old people expendables. Carl Urban is also here as an agent tasked with stopping Frank, and he's pretty good. But Frank is better, so he always gets his ass kicked. But as time goes on, he starts to think that something more is going on. Oh, and I have to mention Ernie Borgnine. He's such a nothing character, but it was great to see the spry 90-something-year-old in one of his last few roles. It turns out that the entire thing is a government plot to cover up some misdeeds in the vice president's past as he's planning to run for president. Red is fast-paced, full of great action, and is really quite funny and witty. My favorite characters were Brian Cox as a Russian agent who Frank was once at odds with, and Helen Mirren as a prim and proper older lady who is just really good at killing people. Malkovich also enlists a lot of laughs as the badass version of Dale Gribble, a paranoid nutcase who just happens to have the right set of talents to be useful. I also have to praise Mary Louise Parker as Sarah, who starts out horrified and disgusted that the nice man she was talking to on the phone now has her duct-taped and bound, but becomes increasingly excited by all the action going on, likening it to her shitty books that she reads. Red isn't trying to break the mold, and it's pretty much like the old people version of The Expendables, but it is highly entertaining from beginning to end, and it deserves a watch. This one was pretty much great, so I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.